Welcome back to the CryptoWorld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, both Bitcoin and Ethereum are experiencing a rejection from this important level of resistance. So in just a moment, I'll be talking more about that and so much more later in the video, so definitely stick around. First of all, just giving you a quick update on the US stock market. This right here is the NASDAQ 100 index on the daily time frame. And obviously, as we can see here, over the last one trading day, the NASDAQ 100 index has dropped slightly below this 78.6% Fibonacci level, which was sitting at around 11.5 to 11.6K. But based on these previous lows in this price action that we saw back in June and July, we do have some more support around these levels. For example, we have some support at this previous low at around 11.5K, and then below that we have this previous low, which is sitting at around 11,350 approximately. But anything below that, then the next most significant level of support would be the June low, which is sitting at around 11,000. But obviously, if you've been watching these videos on this channel for even just the last 1 week, then you'll know that we were likely due to retest some of these lower price levels from the moment we saw a confirmed break back below this golden pocket level of support in the NASDAQ 100 index. And in case you're new to all of this, the reason why I'm covering the stock market on a crypto channel is because when the stock market, more specifically the NASDAQ 100 index, when it's in a bearish trend, then that usually means the crypto market is bearish as well. So if the stock market is looking bearish, then we can't exactly flip overly bullish again on the crypto market until we start to see some more bullish signs in the stock market, for example. But anyway, speaking of the crypto market, taking a look at the Bitcoin chart, this is on the daily time frame, and obviously over the last few days, the price of Bitcoin has continued to find support at this massive range of support that I've been covering for a while now on this channel. And this price range, by the way, is sitting in between 18,500 and 19,000. And in fact, this area of support has been so significant for the price of Bitcoin over the last few days that we've seen the price of Bitcoin actually experience a bit of a bounce while the stock market has been dumping. And so that just goes to show how strong this range of support has been for Bitcoin, especially ever since that June low. And so due to the significance of this range of support for the price of Bitcoin, if the price of Bitcoin confirms a break below this range of support, so if, for example, we start to see multiple daily candle closes well below 18.5K, then that will basically tell us that the price of Bitcoin is about to play out another leg to the downside if, once again, we confirm a break below this area of support, which as of right now hasn't actually happened. And now, while we're on the daily Bitcoin chart, there is something else to point out here, which is the fact that right now we have one daily confirmation for this bullish divergence. Obviously, we have lower lows in the daily candle closes in the Bitcoin price, but we have higher lows in the daily Bitcoin RSI, which is exactly what a bullish divergence is, which tells us that we're due to see reduced bearish momentum. And once again, this has been confirmed now with one daily candle close so far. And so technically speaking, based on this bullish divergence on the daily Bitcoin chart telling us that we're due to see reduced bearish momentum, we're most likely going to see the price of Bitcoin continue finding support along this range of support for a little while longer. And if you're looking at the daily Bitcoin MACD, specifically the histogram within the MACD indicator, right now it's showing a lack in momentum to either direction, because if you're looking at the size of these momentum swings in the histogram, they're actually getting smaller and smaller compared to what we've seen over the last couple months. And so once again, in the somewhat shorter term, this tells us that we're due to see reduced momentum in either direction. But the longer this happens, the longer we see reduced momentum in the MACD, for example, the more that builds up to another explosive move after seeing reduced bearish momentum for a little while longer. So in the immediate shorter term, perhaps over the next few days, we're most likely going to experience some more choppy sideways price action. But eventually, if we see too much choppy sideways price action, then that will basically just build up to another volatile move in the price of Bitcoin, as shown in the Bollinger Bands, which usually squeeze after we see a time period of choppy sideways price action. But anyway, taking a look at the shorter term, this right here is the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, and over the last 1 day, we've actually seen a rejection from this short-term level of resistance, which I warned about yesterday, and that level of resistance is sitting at just above 19.4K. So when it comes to resistance in the short term for the price of Bitcoin, that's still the resistance that I'm watching watching right now, once again at around 19.4k, but anything above that level, if we actually see a breakout above that resistance, then I would expect our next point of resistance at this previous golden pocket right here, which is sitting at almost exactly $20,000 per Bitcoin. And as for support, we do have this horizontal level of support based on these lows and also this previous low, which is sitting at roughly around 18.5k. And also, just like on the daily Bitcoin chart, we also have a small bullish divergence here on the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, obviously with lower lows in the 4-hour candle closes in the price action, but higher lows in the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI, which is telling us that we're due to see reduced bearish momentum in the somewhat shorter term. And obviously over the last 1 day or so since that bullish divergence, we've definitely seen reduced bearish momentum, with the price action pretty much just chopping around somewhat sideways in this sideways price range. And the 4-hour Bitcoin MACD is also pretty similar to the daily Bitcoin MACD, where basically right now it's showing a lack in momentum to either direction. And so once again, like I said in my last video that I posted yesterday on the channel, we're most likely going to experience some more choppy sideways price action in the somewhat shorter term for the price of Bitcoin. But now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is the daily Ethereum to US dollar chart. And obviously, as we can see here, and as I explained in my last video, once again, the price of ETH has already initiated its break to the downside ever since we broke below this previous horizontal level of support based on these previous lows, which was sitting at around 1420 to 1430. But obviously, this is nothing new for those of you who have been watching these videos over the last few weeks, because over the last few weeks, I've been talking about how we have a possible head and shoulders pattern here with a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. And this is not really a perfect head and shoulders pattern because the right shoulder, technically speaking, is a little too big for the left shoulder. But like I explained in my last video, if there's enough traders out there trading this as a head and shoulders pattern, so basically selling ETH or shorting ETH, then that's also a contributing factor for the price going to the downside, with a technical price target based on this head and shoulders pattern at around $1,000. But as always, it is important to understand that between the technical price target and the current price, there are other levels of support between now and then. For example, the golden pocket level of support when looking at the Fibonacci retracement tool from the June low up to the swing high on the logarithmic scale, because that places the golden pocket level of support at around 1.2k, as I explained in my last video once again. But even though the price of ETH has currently found some support at this golden pocket on the logarithmic scale, we haven't actually confirmed a full-on bullish reversal, at least as of right now. And so technically speaking, in terms of the trend, we're obviously still more bearish than bullish as of right now, which basically means we need to be prepared for what could happen if we actually break below this golden pocket at around 1.2k. And if that happens, then I would expect a drop down towards these lows, which are sitting closer towards 1,000, slightly above 1,000. And something else to consider is the daily Ethereum RSI, which right now is pretty close to oversold territories, but is not there just yet, meaning that we still have a little more room to the downside. But if we do end up seeing a break below this golden pocket at 1.2k, then in that scenario, we would likely see the daily Ethereum RSI move into oversold territories as the price potentially moves closer towards 1,000. And generally speaking, when we see the daily Ethereum RSI in oversold territories, that's basically telling us that we're pretty close to a local low in the price of ETH. So that's definitely something else to watch out for moving forward. And if you're looking at the daily Ethereum MACD, as of right now, it is actually showing a little bit more bearish momentum than what Bitcoin is showing on its daily MACD. But with that being said, if you're looking at the histogram within the MACD indicator on the daily Ethereum chart, over the last couple of days, we have seen slightly declining bearish momentum, which oftentimes can result in some very slight bullish relief, or most likely some choppy sideways price action, like what we saw back here, for example, or like what we saw back here, for example, when we saw the daily Ethereum MACD reduce in its bearish momentum. But anyway, heading into the shorter term, taking a look at the 4-hour Ethereum chart, this moving average, in case you're new to this channel, is the 3-day simple moving average. And over the last 1 day, we have seen a slight fake out above this moving average. And so ideally what we need to see in order to flip more bullish again in the short term is a proper breakout to the upside with ideally a retest actually holding that moving average as new support again. Because otherwise what we've seen so far throughout this downtrend is basically every time where the price of ETH tries to contact this moving average or even cross slightly above this moving average, then that's actually acted as a pretty reliable short signal in the short term for the price of ETH. But once again, as I explained in my last video, something that we have this time around that we didn't have these previous times where the price of ETH contacted this moving average is a short-term bullish divergence, obviously with these lower lows in the price of ETH, but higher lows in the 4-hour Ethereum RSI. And so, like I said yesterday, this just means that we're due to see reduced bearish momentum, which basically is a pause within the downtrend. And so one of the most likely scenarios in the immediate short term for the price of ETH is most likely going to be some more choppy sideways price action, but that doesn't necessarily mean the downtrend is over, because obviously as of right now, we don't really have any bullish confirmation signals on the chart telling us that we're entering into another bullish trend, at least not yet. But believe it or not, you can still make a lot of money in crypto even if the price is dumping or just chopping around sideways if you watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. Because the video in the top left of your screen shows you how to make money if the price is going either up or down, and the video in the bottom left of your screen shows you how to make money if the price is chopping around sideways. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.